Hello, I'm Rebecca. Welcome back to my simple country life. I live in southwest Missouri in Garden and USDA Zone 6B. I've spent the last 2 days moving plants around in my 2 new garden beds in front of the deck. I know I just put them in not too long ago, but there were some things that were bothering me and I wanted to get them rectified before things got rooted in too deeply. So, like I said, I spent the last 2 days moving stuff around. I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, please like and subscribe. Changes in garden plans are inevitable, right? As you get to know your garden and you see how things grow and you figure things out. This Miracle on the Hudson Rose is probably going to get moved. I do not know if the winter sown Shasta daisies will also move, but definitely going to be moving this. I believe that is a can't tell you what those two things are right now, but those two things are moving, and in its place is going to go this cute little kitten around catmint that I found. It only gets 12 to 14 inches tall. It is the smallest or lowest growing catmint, and I was excited to have found it. So, salvia, and maybe veronica, but they may both be salvia. But anyway, those two things are moving. This kitten around catmint is going in its place. Everything else seems to be doing happy here. I'm going to take out that Miracle on the Hudson Rose and move that Stella d'Oro daylily more centered in between the two catmint in this bed. Everything else seems to be happy and doing well, and I'm okay with the positioning of it. It's the next day, and I'm out here in the morning trying to rectify some of the mistakes I made when I got in a rush planting stuff. So I've got my gloves, my shovel, my shadow, my buckets for temporary holding stuff until I get it moved to a different bed, my biotone starter. I feel like I need to move the bunny and the bird because the bird, the bunny, and the snail all in a row is a little much. So I'm going to be working on this, and I'll check back in with you. It's a little windy out here, but I feel like, and everything looks a little smushed because it just got watered in, but I feel like this makes more sense. I took out the rabbit and the bluebird, and I may move Julie around on her pedestal a little bit to where she's a little closer to the steps. So we just have the snail and the praying mantis here. I took out the Miracle on the Hudson Rose and 2 of the Shasta daisies and left 3 in. I took out the 2 salvia that were over here and put in the kitten around nepeta or catmint, and it dried out a little bit before I could get it planted, but it should bounce back. They're pretty hardy plants. But I feel like this looks less crowded and makes more sense. So we have the tangerine, is it tangerine? Apricot drift rose, little quickfire hydrangea, 2 lemongrass in the back on either side of the hydrangea, daylily, catmint, I think that's cat's meow or Walker's Low, I think that's Walker's Low, another daylily, another Walker's Low, 3 Shasta daisy that I grew from winter sowing seed, and the blue star juniper that I always try to call a blue road juniper, but it is a blue star juniper. So I feel like this looks better on this side, this short side of the deck, and hopefully you all will agree. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below. And now we're going to go over to this side of the bed, where my goal is to center the dwarf burning bush between the two blue star junipers and put a Miracle on the Hudson rose on either side of the burning bush so that it's more balanced. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the mums and the Shasta daisies and the other stuff growing in this bed. I feel like the winter sown marigolds are just kind of out of control, but I may leave them alone because they're doing so good. We'll see how I feel once I get the burning bush and the Miracle on the Hudson roses situated. Those are my first order of business, and I will check back in with you. I feel like I'm making good progress on this bed. I'd say I'm about halfway done with working on it. I have the dwarf burning bush centered now. I divided the Summer's Romance lamb's ear in half, brought out an old bread knife and promptly broke it, but then was still able to use it to divide those, so hopefully they'll perk back up and look better. I now have a Miracle on the Hudson rose on either side of the dwarf burning bush. I'm going to take that little mum there and put it this side of the dwarf burning bush so that I'll have two mums there and two mums there. Those ridiculously big marigolds. I'm going to move to the back between the Miracle on the Hudson and the blue star juniper. That one on this side and that one on this side. And then I have 7 winter sown Shasta daisies that I've got to intersperse through here somehow. And I've got the Silver Mound Artemisia to do something with. But right now, I'm going to take a break, get cleaned up, and have a lunch. I'll come back out and get back to work and give you another progress report after I've moved those other things. And that's this bed situated. I took out the marigolds. I've got to rehome them. The Artemisia, got to rehome them. I need to rehome the white rabbit and the toad house. But we have apricot drift rose, 2 Shasta daisy, some butterfly weed in the back, and some weeds in the way back. Blue bird of happiness, blue star juniper, white chrysanthemum, another Shasta daisy, Miracle on the Hudson rose, summer romance lamb's ear, kitten around catmint, white chrysanthemum, dwarf burning bush, the other half of the summer romance lamb's ear, another garden mum, another kitten around catmint, another Miracle on the Hudson rose, another Shasta daisy, another snail, blue star juniper, white chrysanthemum, a sad little butterfly weed hanging on in the back. I winter sowed those and they're not too happy, but hopefully they'll get happier. A trio of winter sown Shasta daisies, my purple leaf sand cherry. And this is 2 cat's meow nepeta on either side of the calamintha, and a lemongrass in the back that will be replaced at some point with a clematis once I get this trellis painted, and that probably won't get situated until after this deck is finished built, which is a slow process, and we need to get my shed put up before we do the deck. So anyway, I am pleased with this bed. I'm going to see if I can back up without tripping over anything. So that is the long deck bed, or the deck long bed, situated to my happiness, and the short side of the deck bed situated to my happiness. So much more pleased with how they look. They look less crowded. They look more purposeful and not as look like they were panic planted, which is what they were when I was just needing to get stuff in the ground. So hopefully I can just leave stuff alone, let it grow. I do need to put some more mulch down. I've watered everything in really well, so I'm going to go get cleaned up, run into town, get some mulch for these beds, mulch them this evening, water them again real well, and then I will give an update tomorrow to see how everything has settled in. Hopefully everything is perked up from the watering and looks a little bit more happy. It's 2 days later. Yesterday I didn't get out in the yard. It was real windy. We were supposed to have rain and hail and tornadoes, and we got just a lot of wind. There was a casualty. Our fountain is down for the count. But anyway, the plants are looking good. Got all the fresh cedar mulch down, and had my aromatherapy this morning between putting down the mulch and getting to touch the nepeta, catmint, and the lemongrass. Very nice. I have this pine tree sitting here because we're going to plant it this afternoon. Look at the growth it has put on. But I had it over here so I could give it some water when I was watering the flower beds. So this is the short side of the deck, short flower bed, and then this is the long side of the deck flower bed. The Shasta daisies aren't looking too great, and this area in here, the fountain fell over this way, so it didn't squish the rose bush, but it squished the blue star juniper and this Shasta daisy pretty good. So but anyway, looks like I have 3 butterfly weed over here, and I just have 1 down there, but everything's looking pretty good. Well, except for the, bless its heart, the summer romance lambs there did not take very well to being divided, but hopefully it'll perk back up. But everything else is looking reasonably decent, so pretty happy with how it turned out, and I'll just let it fill in. And if I think it's looking too bare, I can always add some annuals, but I think it's going to look good. So that concludes this video. Thank you for stopping by. And I did want to say, I noticed in watching one of my other videos, I'm not monetized, but YouTube is putting ads in my videos. So I'm not sure what that's about, and I apologize. I didn't realize that they were putting ads in my videos, but if you sit through those and continue to watch my videos, I surely appreciate it. And again, thank you for stopping by, and y'all come back.